Okay, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, world, to our February 2023, the Black Business Connectors featured entrepreneur interview with Kendrick Constant, the CEO of Constant Consulting. Hi, Kendrick.
Hey, Beth.
How's it
Always a
going?
pleasure to see you. Things are going well. How about yourself?
Good to see you. Yes, yes, always a pleasure chatting with you. I'm doing pretty good. Yes. So I'm going to introduce you briefly and then give you a chance to, of course, share in more detail. All right. So you ready to get into it?
I'm ready to get into it.
All right. So let's start out by saying that Kendrick Constant is the CEO of Constant Consulting, and their phrase is be forward thinking, which is exciting. Always curious to learn more about that. But it is a consulting firm tailored for small and medium-sized businesses. And they assist clients with credit repair and financial literacy. And a unique service they provide is translating consulting services for those who have language barriers, which I think is really cool. And I haven't interviewed any business owners yet who do that. So yeah, tell the world a little bit more about yourself and your business, Kendrick.
All right. So I really wanted to dive a little deeper into the credit repair. So that angle of the business, right? I was really inspired by another business partner of mine, where we were helping people out during COVID, and most of the people that came through couldn't speak English. They either spoke mainly Creole or Spanish, and I realized like these people are working hard. They're trying to make it in America, but they don't know how to navigate. And that's like an untapped market where it's like they need the help, they want the help. It's just a matter of translating that information and bringing them through. So that kind of sparked the idea, right? I knew I always wanted to start a business, but that kind of sparked the idea. And I generated a lot of leads through the credit repair end. And for a lot of people, I would find opportunities for them on the business end, right? You need help with your finances. You're also interested in this area, like you're looking for a band, boom. You're looking for a videographer, a photographer. My connections within the business realm, they run pretty deep. So it's really focused on helping people. We're water bearers, right? We're just trying to help.
Yes, we
Right?
are. We are both Aquarius.
Yeah,
We like water people's ideas and dreams. Yeah,
exactly.
that way. Yeah.
That's really what my business is about. Watering other businesses, watering other people so that they and we grow together.
I love it because what I think a really good word is access. People have information, they know it's there, but they just can't access it because of the language barrier. Or maybe they even speak a little bit of English, but the vocabulary that's used for credit repair, for example, might be a little difficult for them to understand.
Yeah, and there's also people without a language barrier who just like don't know where to start. Like,
Yeah.
I want to get a car, but they've been trained all their life to like, oh, I need to save up the cash. I don't need to build credit, because that's just what they've been exposed to. So me realizing this problem, and me being fortunate enough to like know, because you only know what you know. I wanted to just extend that helping hand and see that bear fruit.
Yeah. And I feel like you also don't know what you don't know, but you know there are things that you don't know, and there's fear in the unknown. So
Right.
learning and the information you provide with people probably also helps them feel more comfortable trying out new things and not have that fear that would hold them back. Yes?
Yeah, the fear is always there. I don't think I've interacted with one person that wasn't like shaky. But just being humble. Yeah, I think that's the best approach to getting anyone to trust you. Like accepting, showing that you can accept your flaws. Even with business owners, it's like no one likes someone coming into your business and telling them what to do uh, after you have no blood in the game. You have no stake in the game.
Mm,
But I'm a pretty grounded person. That's not humble of me to say, but
you are.
I like voice, my flaws and things that make business owners, make people looking to further themselves more comfortable being honest. And that's where I always start, because the true intention, it's not about the money, it's not about the credit, it's us building something, creating something together.
Yeah. That's beautiful. I love it. Yeah, creating the value and helping people. So you spoke a little bit about it. I don't know if there's more to the story, but where all do you really get your inspiration from as a business owner? You did say that like you saw a problem in particular when things fell apart for everyone during when COVID started, but do you get your
Right.
inspiration other places?
I get my inspiration literally everywhere. Like the the vision, the motto of the company is be forward thinking.
Yes.
So it could be a flaw, it could be a skill of mine that I'm never fully in the present. Whenever I step into a room, whenever I meet a person, I'm meeting that person and thinking of what could be. And that's where I find my inspiration. Um, just thinking what could be, what could we create together? What rooms can I put you in where I can foster this relationship? Uh, what can you be in the future? And that's really where my inspiration comes from. Just being forward thinking.
Yeah. Advancement. We're not supposed to be stagnant. We shouldn't be seeing each other in the same exact spot all the time. So moving
So
forward.
so the first official job I had was a teller, right? And I'll never forget an old man. He was a teacher. He saw my last name,
Yeah.
Constant Consulting, and he said, "The only thing that is constant is change."
Yeah.
So it's our job to make sure that change is for advancement, for the better.
Yeah.
And that is really the mantra of this business. And like I said, the vision is being forward thinking. So this business, which is, you know, it's become what it will become is a company,
Mhm.
a company of like-minded people who want to advance whoever they work with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely, and from just like working with you, because we collaborated last year around this time on a directory building event for the Black Business Connector
Right.
well, not Stanford, but Norwalk. So yeah, it is like about community. You really, I remember working with you and you were really tapping into like all different types of communities.
Yeah, I don't one thing about me is I don't discriminate. Like try and find I'm gonna try and find party promoters and connect them with politicians to see how they can work together. You know how to bring people together in this area. This is a important issue in our town. let's see where we can bring the focus. And, you know, um, I have a way of bringing people together. Um, and you were there when I like first said it aloud. And I don't want to say it again because I feel like when you say things aloud, it kind of loses its power, its potency, until you make it real. I I know you might not agree with me there, but I'd rather make it happen versus say I'm gonna make it happen.
I don't know if I agree, and I don't know if I disagree. The part of my brain that likes to really get philosophical and overthink things, like, might think about this for the next 24 hours. But actually, no, I mean, from a Christian perspective, God spoke things into existence, and it sounds like, at least from the way it's written, he only did speak it once.
Well, I already said it
So,
once.
I mean, so that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe I might agree with you. I had never thought about it, but I mean, less talk, more action. That is
Right.
a phrase, and like a lot of people just spend their time talking about things, but not actually doing them. Like,
Yeah.
put your money where your mouth is. There's different phrases that kind of support, I think, what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I think maybe I do agree with you. Maybe,
Yeah.
yeah. I think. Yeah.
That is true. You really don't know what you're doing also when you say things aloud. You don't
Yeah.
know who's in support of you or who may not be. So it's better to, just move with action and then let that do the talking for you.
Yeah. Actions do speak louder than words. So let's move right along to something, because sometimes we're always moving forward and we're always doing this and doing that. And I know you do a lot, because you have your business, Constant Consulting.
Mm.
You recently, also with business partners, last year opened up a training center. You might want to, you can feel free to talk about that as well, but you also have a 9 to 5 job. And I know you also do social events because you've invited me to some. But when do you actually pause and rest and practice self-care? I'm curious how you get this all done and still keep your energy.
You know, I feel as if what you're doing isn't your self-care, then you're in the wrong field.
Huh.
Because if what you're passionate about um, doesn't give you the energy and self-care, where you don't feel the effort or the work you're putting in because it's just natural to you, you should consider changing fields. Because I feel like
Hmm.
that's when you know you're doing something right, where it's a lot of effort, but you don't feel it. If something is draining you, you shouldn't be doing that thing. So to answer your question, this is self-care for me.
Okay.
Um, Collaborating with awesome people, um, putting together great events, um, creating businesses that you touched briefly on the trade school. Students are like they're actively, in the class, engaged, learning plumbing and HVAC and learning skills and reaching out on their own to try and find jobs for themselves.
Mhm.
So just meeting these awesome people. One of the students came and greeted me, and he doesn't speak English well, but he speaks Creole, Portuguese, Spanish, and it's like you have skills.
Yeah.
And because we've created these avenues for you to like hone in,
Yeah.
I'm grateful for that. So that's my self-care.
I do think that you actually have a really good point. We are out of alignment when we are drained and exhausted. Of course, I might push back and say we all need like a day of rest or like a week or a month of vacation, right? But you are right. What we do should energize us and inspire us. And if we're drained and exhausted, something's wrong. Like we're definitely doing the wrong work. We're not meant to be miserable. That's not the plan.
Absolutely not. We're not meant to be miserable to just pay bills and die. That
No.
is not what we're here for. And there's actually four main things I do. So there's my business,
Mhm.
Constant Consulting Group, the Indoor Training Comfort Center, which is the trade school for students who are looking into uh, plumbing, HVAC, and want to get certified and get those hours. Um, my full time, I work as a public accountant for RSM, number five firm. They're pretty large. And then the fourth, I also serve as like a mentor, a tutor for this national program called A Better Chance, where we helps not help gifted young men who are in high school with just life lessons, with homework, with um, just becoming men, and they're
Mhm.
minorities also. Um, and me graduating and working in corporate, and me struggling in the beginning, um, that struggle taught me many lessons, and helping these young men and just fostering that growth. It 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 basically showed me why I had to go through that, because now I have the lessons to teach them and help them propel forward.
Yeah. That's really awesome because if people don't talk to you about that and mentor you, you start, especially if you're like in a competitive environment like corporate, you start maybe thinking something's wrong with you.
Hmm.
And it can really wear you out versus if you have a mentor who can be like, well, this is how I handled those situations. And,
Right.
this is, how who you really are and like guide you and support you and prepare you
Yep.
emotionally.
Yeah. And the first firm I worked for was Price. Maybe I shouldn't say the name.
Yeah.
Uh,
You can
but
just talk about them
yeah,
without their
it was a big four firm. And I was like, what, one of like 300 new hires, and there was like three of us that were Black.
name.
And that's the first time I was exposed to that, um, in all my life, actually. Like, even in college, it wasn't that bad. Um, but this was like very new because a lot of my peers were from towns where there were no Black people. They came up in private school, and you would see the body language change when people shook my hand, and it's just like, I had to learn that I gotta, one, be authentic. That's super important, and help people warm up to me. Um, so they're more comfortable giving me feedback, because there's people who wouldn't give me feedback directly, but would give
Mm,
others feedback, and that doesn't help anyone. So just learning to navigate, super important, and learning those lessons so you can move forward.
yeah. Yeah. That is hard. I am sure of it. Like it's definitely, I would imagine a culture shock. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you feel is the biggest factor in your success? I mean, it could be in any level, professionally or business wise, but what do you think is the biggest factor?
I want to say for starters, I honestly don't think entrepreneurship is for everyone.
No, it's not.
It requires a risk tolerance, resiliency, um, and a boldness. Uh,
Mhm.
in order to like continue year after year. Um, I read people pretty well, I feel like. So I watch behaviors, mannerisms, and based off those patterns, if I recognize them, that's how I'll approach them. Um,
Hmm.
so I would say my ability to observe and
Hmm.
really the resiliency and the risk tolerance where I'm risky, but it's a calculated risk.
Yeah. Well, I think it would be wise. It would be like absolutely foolish to just leap without. I mean, sometimes you do. It is a leap of faith, right? I do think that entrepreneurship is a
Yeah,
leap of faith, especially if it's your only means of income. But yeah, you want to be wise in your decisions and like discern who to partner with and what
mhm,
investment really might not. I mean, like there's risk and then there's risk that's unwise.
right,
And when to
right.
stop, right? But um I also feel like in entrepreneurship, and I agree with you that not everyone is cut out for it. But I feel you really have to have a strong identity in yourself and belief in yourself that's separate from how your business is going because it can be up one day and down the next and then back up for three more and then down for 3 weeks, you know?
Agreed. Like you look at the CEO of Starbucks. He was rejected like I think over 100 times before he created Starbucks. Uh,
Mm,
I recently saw it looked like a guy from Dubai who created a water balloon theme park, and he was saying in his interview like I remember the number for him. He was rejected 617 times. But like that self identity, you can't let friends or family telling you no or not supporting. You really have to be sure of yourself in order to like tap into entrepreneurship for real.
yeah. Because otherwise the rejection will crush you and you'll be like, I suck at all of this. And maybe the idea wasn't the best idea to begin with. It does kind of like we do learn from our failures, like
Yeah.
tweak
And
it.
and and I feel like that's okay too. Like if it's not for you, it's okay to like partner or um work with people who will support your vision, you know?
Yep. I was like, oh, I see a hand.
Yeah, I got a message. I was just throwing that out of the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Partnering with people. Because
Who
there is,
support who support your vision. Cause I don't want anyone to ever be discouraged if they have like something they want to create. Um, but maybe they just need help creating it.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, like what someone laughs at could be the next thing that innovation that changes the world for the better. So you never know. Yeah. So what do you feel moving forward is the next level of success? What does that look like for you?
I've identified people that I want on my team,
Okay.
that I want to work with because you cannot build a business while you're in it. You need either
Mm,
tools that help you automate, but like for you to be in the business and it growing, then it can't grow without you present. So, you know, I know the people I've worked with, um, clients, both current and previous, we have great relationships. They want to work with me. Sometimes it's an economic decision, but they want to work with me. And sometimes it's like my capacity, it's I don't have the capacity to deliver the quality I want.
mm,
So definitely pulling in like-minded people who are self-motivated have the same vision of advancing other people, having them on my team
Yeah.
so we can work together and truly be a group.
Yes, truly be a group, but for sure, like when I think about myself, right, I don't have all the skills necessary, right? I'm great at creating, I'm like creative, but don't ask me to sit down and start crunching data in numbers. It makes my head hurt and I'm miserable. Is not where I belong. So I have an accountant for that.
Right. Yeah, we all have skills that complement each other. So that's another important piece.
But yeah, there's all sorts of data, right? Like I had someone the other day ask me like data on, posts that I was making. I was like, oh gosh, I have to go and analyze it now. Right. But that would be ideal for me to delegate to a team member and be like,
Exactly.
hey, check out this data for me. Because, and it's okay. We're not supposed to be good at everything. We're not
Yeah.
supposed to be a one woman or a one man show.
Yeah. That really, like, with the humility part, it's like knowing what you're good at and what you're not, and finding the pieces that
Yeah,
complement that. So,
absolutely. So what do you feel? We've talked about success, and I know you're definitely passionate about helping others achieve success. So let's talk about the secret sauce you feel many entrepreneurs miss that's holding them back from success so that they can adjust.
you know, I gotta I gotta be honest here. I think, I saw Floyd Mayweather say
Uh-huh.
it best. There's juice and then there's sauce,
Oh,
right?
uh-huh.
So juice, some people have the juice, the juice, a lot of people have the juice, but like the sauce, that's something like you can't teach that, you know. It's something that comes natural. That it's that it factor that some people just have. Uh I don't know what other words to say about it, but I do really think that the sauce is natural.
So in other words, I feel like it kind of maybe connects with what you were talking about when you were talking about trying to adjust to uh people not being necessarily comfortable with you in a new corporate environment, and you realized you needed to be authentic.
Hmm.
So like not forcing things, just kind of being. Maybe is like, because you're saying like you either have it or you don't, so you can't fake it, you can't make it up.
Yeah.
So show up as you.
Yep. Agreed. You really have to show up as you, and what's for you will come to you. But if you're showing up as someone else, you're gonna get whatever that someone else is. But if you're showing up as you, what's for you will always be for you. So um, you just gotta be yourself.
That is so true. I certainly don't want to be trying to live someone else's life. I want to live mine.
Live
Yeah,
your life.
yeah. I love it. I love it. That's like a really good thought, Kendrick. Thank you so much. So I know people are going to want to get in touch with you. How can people connect with you?
So give a follow at on Instagram at constant__consulting. You could visit my website, theconstantconsultinggroup.com, fill out the business consultation survey or the credit repair consultation survey, and I'll get a notification right away and reach back out to connect with you, and we can go from there.
Yes, I love it. And I do, having worked with you, I do love how you have everything automated. So like there's no delay. You do get notifications right away. I've noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah. You sure do.
Yes. So before we wrap things up, did you have any last thoughts or any last things you wanted to share?
Yes. So as we were talking about, uh, talking just throughout this interview, a thought came to my head where I feel as if it has become difficult, or there can be friction sometimes when it comes to supporting each other, because we feel like there's competition, or we want this person to do well, but not better than us.
Mm.
That gridlocks, that mindset, that mentality really gridlocks us all, and makes it hard for anyone to move forward. So anyone who's watching this video, I hope we can work together to combat that mindset, that idea, and truly and genuinely work together to just
Yeah.
be our best all around.
Yeah. Because you know what, you honestly don't know. And if someone who's your competitor, they end up doing better than you, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to then help you. So if they're at a different space, right? And
Exactly.
you're here, they might see though something that you have to offer and bring you in on a deal. And so you can still end up going higher together. Like it's not him, her, him, like me, you type thing. It
Right.
can work. Yeah.
We can make it work.
Yeah. It is all workable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right. So thank you so much. I had so much fun chatting with you. So be sure to reach out. Also, I forgot to ask you as well, what is the contact information for the training center, the indoor training center? So anyone who also might want, maybe they don't want to be an entrepreneur, but maybe they want to work in plumbing or HVAC.
Indoor Comfort Training Center on Instagram. Number is, I believe, 203. I don't want to say this wrong.
Yeah, you can text it to me and I can put it in the description of the video.
I think it's 203-349-9319.
Okay.
Yeah. If it's not, I'll text it to you. But yeah, if you're interested in becoming an HVAC or plumbing tech, definitely reach out. Great instructor, hands-on learning, right in downtown Norwalk.
Six-figure
Definitely.
salary.
Yes, like plumbing, there's a need. If you call for a plumber or HVAC, 9 times out of 10, you're on a wait list. So there's definitely a need.
There is. I'm trying not to laugh right now because I was trying to solve a plumbing problem this morning in my bathroom sink. Anyway,
Yeah,
it's an offline
students
story.
ready to help.
Yeah. So it is a desired skill. And my plumber that I use will sometimes take a week before he can get to me because he's in demand.
Right.
Demand. Yeah. So all right. Well, awesome. So glad to share that opportunity with people as well. So thank you so much, Kendrick. Thank you so much for your time. It's really been a pleasure chatting with you as always. So yeah.
Beth, always a pleasure. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for making me the featured entrepreneur of Black History Month. Really
Yes.
appreciate it. And definitely looking forward to working on the next networking event with you.
Yes, me too. And it's technically Black History Day, 365 days a year, right?
Right, right.
It's not
We're
just
we're
like
we're
28.
part of all of history. You're right.
You are. Yes, you are. All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good one, Beth.
Yes, you too. All right. Let's see here.